Reading though on the switchback will have the inside line as they make their way off turns 13 and 14 up towards the PUJI. Toprak only needs second place in order to seal this title, but he's not one for you don't collect the back of him. Ray holds firm, less than a tenth of a second between them though at the end of lap number 1.
Yeah, Toprak's looking pretty crap. That could be iconic at the start of the lap.
Very spectacularly indeed in these conditions, and that's exactly what Toprak Razgatlioglu is trying to do here, hassling and harrying Jonathan Ray into the
more confidence than Jonathan Ray. Just looking at the riders as well, looks like they're all still out there in full drive. The little advantage could have made a big difference. You can see for Bassani, though, really confident on Tom Sykes in the run down in towards turn 5.
Back outside the top 10, the start of lap 3. Razgatlioglu has been close. Each he can't get there. Toprak's already through, and Razgatlioglu hits the front in race 1.
Yeah, Toprak wants to win the championship in style. He said all the way through this season, but he did a line through that section of the track. It's all the way up towards turn 10. That's where it is at turn 12.
Bassani at the moment is the fastest man out there. Axel Bassani, who now cuts through on Scott Redding, set a 1 minute A. It was Scott Redding who had a 1 second deficit to the top of the race, but we also know that Jonathan Ray is going to be desperately keen in this season finale. Toprak still leads, race after.
The Toprak Razgatlioglu out in the lead. He's bringing Andrea Locatelli with him as well.
Just a second covered the lead quintet over the line at the end of lap number 3. It's a chicane 11 and 12, difficult to make a pass through there. Redding getting back on terms, expecting that whatsoever from Axel Bassani, and this is dreamland now for Razgatlioglu.
Yeah, Toprak out in front, and the mark on the number 60 machine, the orange helmet at the back of this group. He's dropped Andrea Locatelli.
So Razgatlioglu and Ray for the first time. Toprak went on to suffer a mechanical. Toprak the race leader, Redding still with them. Sykes half a second behind that lead quartet. A bit of a gap opening
there with Bautista. Only a matter of time before Davis on the number 7 gets through.
And here goes Axel Bassani on Toprak Razgatlioglu. Podium finish to his name. Remember back to those damp conditions in the Catalonia round earlier on in this season. Brescian as he fights his way through on Toprak Razgatlioglu for second position through turns back in this race so far. We're only a quarter of the way through, and Ray now wants to hit the front on Razgatlioglu. Bassani working wonders for the current race leader, the new race leader.
Yeah, we've said all the way through this weekend, it looks like in the dry conditions, Toprak would have had a few Yamahas up there with Bassani there, because he knows second place behind Jonathan Ray is enough to clinch the championship.
Coming off that 10th turn and towards turn 11, he does. Ray had the better pickup. Razgatlioglu was a grassack of him, half a second between the 4 of them at the end of the previous lap, and Bassani can't quite get it done on Razgatlioglu this time around.
He's able to bridge the gap to the 2 caddies in front of him.
Michael van der Mark in 6th position, matching the pace of Bassani. To the front, it's Ray who leads. Last time around, it was Razgatlioglu who responded.
And then some of the dry weather pace we've seen this weekend, ran by 3 seconds slower than the outright dry weather pace.
Now it's a question of whether the likes of Bassani pull away from the pack. That works much better for Toprak than it does for Ray. I'm not sure that there'll be enough.
I think bottling up Toprak's going to be a real challenge, because Toprak has shown all the way through this season how aggressive he's willing to be on the racetrack, move and force the issue.
Michael van der Mark directly behind, right on the T1 series. Big moment there for Bassani, defending 3rd position against Scott Redding. Still only half a
that time around for Jonathan Ray. Toprak just a 10th of a second slower, and that's why the leading 4 are stretching away. As it is right now, it's just who's willing to push that little bit harder, who's willing to see where that grip in the gap. Yeah, and Ray just trying to edge himself away in that middle sector of the lap. As you said earlier on, Alex, really wants to stay with Ray. He wants to make sure that it's as safe a race as possible for him, as much as anything else. The safest way for that for Toprak.
Gradually improved. Razgatlioglu in the slipstream, not close enough this time around into turn 1, but he was less than a tenth of a second behind.
Certainly what we've seen all the way through this year is that these 2 riders so closely matched out of track all the way.
Lioglu doesn't need to take any risks trying to pass Jonathan Ray. He only needs to stay in front of Axel Bassani and Scott Redding to be world champion, but he's taking risks anyway. This is his way to the front on lap 9 of 20.
Jonathan Ray said on Friday, if you make a move into turn 10...
Where Ray's been making up his time on his direct rival, but he's tucked in behind him. There's no way to get through. Jonathan Ray ducks out of the slipstream in towards turn 1. Ray's going to be very aggressive here on Razgatlioglu. He's not
close enough on the run into turn 1, but you could see a little bit of a change for him there. He wanted to make sure he was in a position to try and attack And
Toprak Razgatlioglu, the race leader, and all the while these two are going to have to watch out for Scott Redding, who's closing in on them. New fight, 9 for Razgatlioglu and a 136.28 for Jonathan Ray. He's left us up. Ray makes his pass. I said he's been strong through this final sector all race long. Razgatlioglu a little bit wide.
He make moves like that. Toprak into turn 1 though.
Turn 1 of lap 11. Razgatlioglu now will respond. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hasn't put a foot wrong out in the racetrack. He's racing this title deciding weekend the same way.
Redding as well, closing in and spoiling for a fight. Ray goes to the outside of Razgatlioglu. Redding here with an opportunity to mix it. Will be comfortably enough. Second place would also be good enough. The best way Jonathan Ray can stop Toprak Razgatlioglu.
Very strong. Toprak's learned a bit of a lesson though on the previous couple of laps.
And here goes Redding. Scott Redding down the end. He's generally been making progress on Razgatlioglu. And suddenly Toprak is able to make a bit of a gap.
Tight operating window. It's the fastest bike out in the racetrack. And right now Scott does look like he's got a lot more
position. So this would be big progress for Vasani, who stands to make up 10 of the 14.
from the gas a little bit earlier, so he exits the corner very well. But you can see for Scott Redding, he's opened that gap to Jonathan Ray.
Wide, very wide for Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's off the circuit altogether to show you the perils of a drying circuit. It's not fully dry just yet. Redding over the line for a new buck.
Ray will have seen that mistake for Toprak. That would have given him a lot more confidence to try and push on. Wake up call. We've got the Yamaha pit box just underneath our commentary box here, and certainly that would have given them a few increases.
So Ray's going to push as hard as he can here to chase down and pass Scott Redding.
Yeah, you can see on this lap, he's got his tail up. He knows that he's got the opportunity to win this race. Put a bit of pressure on Toprak.
Now the gap to Scott Redding. Behind Toprak Razgatlioglu has consolidated, has stabilised his pace throughout that. Ray, as has customarily been the case during this race one, has got the better Ray on this lap so far. New personal best sectors coming in from Toprak Razgatlioglu. We know that it is going to be a situation where Toprak will be the man of who.
He's got to get through on Scott Redding. We saw him get really close to the run then in towards turn 10 last time around. He'll also know that
He's at 1.2 seconds down on Toprak Razgatlioglu, despite the fact that he too is putting in personal.
for Scott Redding through 4 and 5. And certainly for an attack riding, he's going to just have to try and put his bike in a position to get down the inside into turn 10.
Stand, he must get past Scott Redding here to keep the title fight alive for another race, to take us to a last race decider. Allied altogether and does well to stay on the circuit. It's going to give a second wind here to Toprak Razgatlioglu to try and close in on the second place that he needs to seal the title. Suddenly the focus turns to what's going on behind him. Can Scott Redding pick back up the pace quickly enough? Toprak has seen blood.
Scott Redding, he knows he's got the best to do. He's riding there with that little bit of a slip again on the run through 3 and 4. Try and get close enough now.
These are the three men who've been knocking spots off one another all season. After Jonathan Ray try and chase him down for a championship winning style. Redding's got just about enough in hand for the moment. Inside though on the switchback for turn 17. He won't want to mess up the two. Jam back into turn 1 at the start of lap 18. This could be a title winning overtake from Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's meant it's all about what the Ducatis can do, because Ray and Razgatlioglu for the moment look settled. The second T1 campaign.
Redding's quite good through turn 13 and 14 compared to Toprak. We'll see if he can get close enough.
Braking zone into turn 15 and 16 though doesn't look like being an easy opportunity to pass Toprak Razgatlioglu, and Toprak defends.
And so for Scott Redding, he needs to focus on using the strengths of that Ducati. So we need to exit
Ray with victory would be 25 points behind Toprak Razgatlioglu in the championship standings. He would gain race wins consistently. A little bit of an extra edge today, capitalising on a couple of wayward moments, nervous moments for Razgatlioglu.
Yeah, Toprak.
2 laps from the end, and the race is finally beginning to settle down, although you'd have to say Razgatlioglu 134.288. He's half the gap to Ray. It's only 6/10 ahead of this final lap. He's going after the...
At some point in this lap, he might feel that it's a bridge too far to be able to close up on Ray.
I think that points up a victory in what is the penultimate race of this 2021 campaign. It's going to be a first victory since race exactly where he sits. It's been far from a percentages game though from Razgatlioglu. It's been a race that has seen him backwards and forwards through the order. Rain has come to an end. A new era has begun in World SBK. The 2021 Moto places what he secures. Jonathan Ray is the race winner, but it's Toprak who's done Scott Ray in what is a championship winning move.
And you can see the two title contenders there fighting it out to the nail on the racetrack. They've both got so much respect for one another. but for World Championship as well. And certainly for Yamaha, this is going to be one.
Race 2 this afternoon, but what a season it has been for them. A first Worlds, and Razgatlioglu looks emotional, and well he might be. He's kept it all in well, he's looked cool, he's looked calm. Well, if you thought that that kind of 6-year run could never end, that he could never be beaten, the answer is all good.
And he's pushed too hard on a few occasions, but he's been pushed to that point by Toprak and Yamaha.
Remember, Toprak was
The course of the last couple of months since then, it is a rider just doing absolutely everything he could to make sure he was able to tick all the boxes and get over the line.
Well, if you're based on the other side of the world, then you've had to get up to his fellow countrymen, and now the preparations can begin for what will be his lap of honour.
Is that they've been prepared for everything on the racetrack. Looks like they were prepared for something off the track as well.
Again, just 25 championship points between Jonathan Rea and Toprak Razgat.
And Rea era comes to an end, even with him winning another race. But certainly, he would have been in a position to try and attack as well, and it definitely looked like he was willing to attack. I think that says everything you need to know about the race for the Toprak Razgat is.
From Rea halved the gap to him. I think he realised, though, in the first sector of that final lap, it was time to think about the jam.
Yamaha personnel down there. Looked like Ashley Banks was down there, and Ash is looking like it could be.
For Jonathan Rea, he becomes a race winner at a 21st different circuit, 340. History is made. Toprak Razgatlioglu is the man to unseat Jonathan Rea. Third position in race 1 of this Pirelli Indonesian round. The numbers all prepared, the gold.
He's had some tough times, and obviously enough over the course of the last few years, we've seen him really come into his own.
Big journey for Top.
Yeah, massive. Yamaha came back into World SBK 2016. It took them a while to manage to get that program fully back on track. We saw them with Sylvain Guintoli, former world champion Alex.